Welcome to Behaviorally Chats, Claudia. So nice to have you today. This is a conversation with you, one of our esteemed clients, delving into the world of insights. And I just want to introduce you as the Global Business Services Director of Insights at PepsiCo in Mexico. Correct?
Yes, thank you. Nice to be with you, Gisella, today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's just dive in. I want to hear a little bit about your experience and your thoughts in terms of trends in the insights world. So, to begin, 2023 has seen several shifts in the research landscape. So, wanted to hear about your perspective on those changes that you've been seeing in the industry and how it's going to impact 2024.
Sure. Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity of being here, Jess. Um, one of the things that I've been seeing accelerating each time more and more is everything that has to do with automation and digitization, which is a whole world we've been talking about for years. But now I do think we're stepping like into a tipping point of a transformational new landscape, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
this is my observation, mainly for talking, with colleagues in other industries, being in research forums, IT forums, and so on and so forth. So what I see and what I understand today is that the whole digitization of the businesses and the ways of capturing information, quantitative, qualitative, whatsoever, have opened like Blue Ocean. I don't know if you've heard of that book, which is an amazing old book, but the concept is really, really cool and talks
mhm.
exactly about this, right? While the research agencies were fighting in the red oceans for more margin and clients and blah, 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 this was this white space that came out uh, from tech companies that actually can do live, almost live market research, consumer connections directly from the clients with the consumers. And research agencies, I've observed that overall they've been lagging behind. With talking to the agencies, many of the top agencies in the world, I think one of the things that has happened is that they decided to in-house AI, machine learning, blah, 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 right? And trying to in-house something makes you slower because you're not perfect. The costs are over the ceiling because you have a huge structure, to care for. And so what has happened is that they are less competitive, that very small tech companies, boutique companies that are not very research savvy, but are very tech savvy. So what I see today is that the bridge that we need to build is how do we make these AI, tech savvy, digitization agencies, blah, 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 to talk our language a little bit more and better. And
Mhm.
that's something, just that overall the clients, we are willing to walk them through this path because we know research, right? We understand people, statistics, anthropology, sociology, whatever. So we can do that. But what we couldn't do as clients was writing a code for an AI, right?
Right.
So that's
Right.
overall where I see we are today.
Right, right. So getting that sort of marriage of those foundations of research or capturing those insights while at the same time leveraging technology. So I know it's a challenge, and I know here at Behaviorally, we're working hard to do that by incorporating AI and coming up with new solutions. But yeah, it's an exciting time because there is so much out there to make it easier and faster and more agile. um,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
think it's super exciting because, as you say, I think we're in a moment in time where we can redefine what being a researcher means, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And it's in us to define the rules. What's that going to look like? What's the job description of the researcher in 2024, 2025? It's
Right.
definitely different than
Yep.
what it was in 2010, even, right? So it is
Right.
very
Right.
exciting for us. Yeah.
For sure. What new skills do you think a researcher should have or a supplier should bring to the table for you?
Yeah, well, the first one is I think we all need to become friends with technology and just understand it. You don't need to be a coder and a, data scientist, hard mathematician. You just need to feel comfortable with it and understand it. And I remember a book I read a couple of months ago that was saying from some researchers that were trying to understand how companies are embarking on this acceleration of digitization, and they did a lot of interviews to lots of CEOs and whatever. And the common ground was nobody really gets it, but everybody wants to look smart. And we're all going through that. So,
Right,
first of all, is being mindful and saying, okay, we're all in the same boat. Let's, study a bit, read a bit, find a bit
right.
more information on that. And the second one, more than ever, I think critical thinking is the key
Mhm,
skill we need to have
mhm.
more than ever, because an AI, it's just an AI. It repeats stuff that it's out there, clusters it and
Right,
whatever. But
right,
we need more critical thinking than ever, I believe.
right.
And one of the key, like, changes we want to make in our organization is to make sure that the insights people are the ones that drive change. It's no longer the time to be the insight owner or the knowledge owner and saying, oh, I have the information. That's zero value because information is democratized, right? Everybody can
Mhm.
have information. So that's not a big thing today. The big thing is if you know what to do with it. And if you
Right.
can walk with our partners, the brand managers, finance managers, with everybody and say, okay, I know what's going on in the world on a topic, whatever. Let's
Mhm.
do something about it. But you have to be an active part. Whereas probably 20 years ago, your role was just to say, this is the great insight, this is the amazing number, and you do your thing. I
Right.
believe that is no longer the time. It's time for us to get on the driver's seat in the car and drive business with what we understand.
Absolutely. That's great. I love that. I think that piece about the critical skills and having that capacity to analyze all this data and really leverage this technology and just sort of connect the dots, as well as just partnering. I like that word that you use in terms of partnering together within your research teams, within your brand teams, and client side, supplier side. So, looking forward to doing that and taking on that active role as researchers that I think is more and more important.
It
Um,
is, it is. And actually, I believe it's not just critical thinking, right? It's also being fearless,
mhm,
right? Like many times we know stuff, Giselle, don't we? We see a lot of data, we talk to a lot of people, we're out there in the streets, smelling culture, feeling stuff,
mhm,
being there. And we know stuff. And I
right.
and I think sometimes we would be having a seat in a meeting, agencies and ourselves, right? The
Mhm,
insights
mhm.
people and seeing people taking decisions that we don't agree so much,
Yeah,
and we are not active and fierce enough to say no, you
right,
need to understand this. And I
right.
think that if we don't do that, the value we add, it's going to be zero in the
Mhm,
business because
mhm.
everything else can be given by a cool AI and amazing technology or whatever. That can be done. You can even have PowerPoint slides curated by an AI that write verbatims of insights by the
Right.
AI, right? So that's no longer the role. It's more to be fearless, aggressive, drive, understand better the business, the commercial things, the consumers, the humans, what's going on with us. And
Mhm, mhm.
talking about, again, the exciting time this is for us as a community of researchers. We have changed, Giselle. I mean, the humanity is different after pandemic, right? We have
Mhm.
different values, different ways to see life, different ways we want to use, consume, walk, live, party, right? We have
Yeah,
everything different. So honestly, we don't know. We need to go and understand again what's going on
right.
with us as humanity. And I think that's super exciting because nobody really knows what happens. Everybody sees that things are changing, values are different. Everybody talks about Gen Alpha, Gen Z, blah, blah, blah. But really getting there and re-signifying everything we knew, this is our moment to do so. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That's exciting. I'm happy to be a part of it, as I'm sure you are too. I see that passion that you have for being a researcher, and it's great that we get to do this work, right? We're very lucky, I feel, to be in
Yes.
this world, to be able to analyze human nature, behavior, and kind of have that relate into our brands and our clients and our work. So it's great talking to you, Claudia. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge and your time with me. This is our conclusion for our um, behaviorally chats for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Your experience is so valuable to us in understanding your success and what drives you as a client. So stay tuned. Looking forward to speaking to you again, and look forward for our behaviorally chats where we can engage with visionary insights professionals like you. So looking forward to our next conversation.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the invitation, Giselle.
Thank you, Claudia.